Hey guys, day 182, July the 1st. Those of you doing the one-year Bible study with us, we've got 2 Kings chapter 18 verse 13 through chapter 19 verse 37, Acts chapter 21 verse 1 through 17, Psalm chapter 149 verse 1 through 9, and Proverbs chapter 18 verse 8. I want to look at a feller we see here in Acts chapter 21. I kind of wished that as we had been reading through the book of Acts, we had looked at him, or I had pointed him out before now, but nonetheless, he's a hero. Let's look at this guy. I want to look at Acts 21, verse 8 through 9. On the next day we departed and came to Caesarea, and we entered the house of Philip the evangelist, who was one of the 7, and we stayed with him. He had 4 unmarried daughters who prophesied. That's all we see of him right here. But I just think it's so cool because of his origin story. See, origin stories are everything. If you're a comic book person, you know what I'm talking about. Origin stories are everything. His origin story is everything. If you look back, this is the Philip that started ministry with Stephen back in Acts chapter 6, whenever they needed somebody to wait the tables and to serve. And they were looking for 7 to choose to serve. Because if you recall what I just read, it says, Philip the evangelist, who was one of the 7. You see, he started out as serving tables. There actually wasn't even much to be said of him. If you look through the list, you've got, and they said and pleased the whole gathering, they chose Stephen, a man full of faith and the Holy Spirit, and Philip, and Prochorus, and Nicanor. It just glances over him. He's not really anybody. This is just a name of a feller who's willing to serve God. But then you see, shortly after Stephen's death in Acts chapter 8, you see this same Philip proclaims Christ in Samaria, and he's the one that ends up later on in verse 26 of chapter 8. He ends up going to the eunuch and preaching to the eunuch, and gets ends up getting Christianity into this African kingdom. And that's some crazy stuff there. God continues to use Philip, and his ministry grows and grows beyond just being a table waiter, to the point where now he is known as, in chapter 21, Philip the evangelist. Philip, he continued to spread the gospel as far and as wide as he could. And because of his passion, you see that his daughters also had a passion for ministry of the Lord. He left a righteous inheritance to his kids. I just think that's really neat, that story of Philip. I want to encourage you guys. You might be in somewhere small doing ministry right now, but it's big in somebody's life. And God will continue using you, and you do not know where you'll end up. Just continue to be faithful as much as you can, wherever you can. See y'all.